Welcome back to Male Choices, where we dive deep into what it really means to live life on your own terms. Today, we're breaking down some of the most controversial content out there about men deciding to take control of their destinies. Unfiltered, unapologetic, and straight to the point. You've seen the buzz, you've heard the chatter. Well, buckle up, because we're about to dissect the core of this movement and see what's really at play. If you think you're ready to challenge your perspective and get a dose of raw truth, stick around. And hey, if you're all about smashing the status quo, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Join the revolution, because you don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in.
What is the male equivalent to an ick? You know how women have, like, so many icks?
See, men don't get the ick. What they get is something a little bit different, but it's kind of the same thing. See, when it comes to women, what they're describing as the ick is 99% of the time a moment that a man, looks feminine to them, or, the perception of their masculine energy, is broken for them. And we get the same thing as men, but it is not when a girl does something masculine. It's when a girl does something that makes you realize she is not your wife. And I have the perfect example of this because this one happened to my friend. My friend was once talking to a girl for like 2 months or something like that. He really thought this girl was the one. He was probably only a few weeks away from asking her to be his girlfriend. And he was not expecting much from her. He knew that she was not working. She talked about all the time that she was broke, or at least did not have money because he was always paying for things. And, he didn't expect much. The day of his birthday party actually comes, and we're there, and he's getting all of these, pretty generic gifts from us. Like, I didn't put that much work into it. Literally, I got him like a gift card somewhere. Everybody else gave pretty generic gifts. Even his mom got him like, some like nice gym clothes or something like that. But then his girlfriend comes to give the gift. And hers is in a huge box, and there's an envelope. And you'd be surprised what was in the envelope was actually even better than the box. This man opens it up. It is a brand new PS5. He's got NCAA already downloaded into the game. This man is freaking out. He comes over to me. He's like, dude, I'm gonna marry this girl. I have to ask her to be my girlfriend right after this. Then he opens up the envelope. This envelope is a two-way ticket for them to go on a trip in Cancun, Mexico. This dude is like, this is insane. It's his 24th birthday. It's not even like this is like, a notable birthday. It's like one of the most random birthdays. So like I said, this dude is literally head over heels at this point. He thinks he's going to marry this girl. He actually feels like an idiot that he hasn't even asked her to be his girlfriend yet. But then it dawns on him. He's like, how did she afford this? She literally hasn't even been able to afford any meals or anything for the last week. So he just blatantly asked her like the next day, like, can I ask, like, I'm very thankful, but how did you pay for this? And this girl says with a straight face, thinking he's going to be excited about this, those guys in my DMs that are always messaging me? Yeah, one of them basically said that if I send them feet pics once a week for the next, month, that he would give me $2,000. And she said she started doing that about 5 weeks ago, and now she's got more than 4 different guys that she's doing it for, but it was...
This guy did exactly what any smart man would do when he saw the red flags. He felt the shift, sensed something was off, and acted on it. It's pure instinct. Just like women get the ick and bail when they lose interest, men get that gut feeling that creeps when something's not right. It's self-preservation. Whether it's the relationship, the woman's behaviour, or just a vibe that things are going downhill, men know when to step back, reevaluate, and walk away. And guess what? That's not being cold or unfeeling. It's about protecting yourself. Men aren't here to stick around when things are clearly going south. Women always talk about getting the ick like it's their right to walk away when they're not feeling it anymore. Well, men have their version too. When we get the creeps, it's just as valid. It's a signal that something's off, and we'd be fools to ignore it. Whether it's a mismatch in values, growing distance, or behaviour that's crossing a line, a man's instincts are telling him to watch out. And when that happens, acting on it is the rational choice. Men have every right to walk away when things start feeling wrong, just like women do with the ick. It's about self-respect, knowing your worth, and not sticking around in a situation that's dragging you down. Simple as that.
I hate when guys approach me. Why? Because I don't want to be bothered? Like, clearly, I'm doing something. Go away. Okay, so I guess you meet guys online then? Ew, no, what kind of creep stalks my IG and DMs me? Oh, okay, so you approach the guys then. Oh, what? Why would I ever date a guy who didn't have the confidence to approach me? But you just said you hate when guys approach you. Yeah, only when I'm clearly doing something. Plus, those guys are always super awkward anyway. How is a guy supposed to know when you're clearly doing something? And yeah, of course he's going to be a little bit awkward. He's starting a conversation out of thin air with a girl who may or may not be attracted to him and may or may not be busy. I mean, just approach me at a bar or a club. That's when I tend to meet guys. You mean when you're drunk and impulsive? Yeah. How do those relationships tend to go?
So women say they're strong and independent, that they don't need a man, and you know what? Fine, let them be. They say no means no, and sure, we respect that. They don't want men approaching them. Cool, that's fine too. So, what's the solution for men? Simple walk away. Don't say a word, don't argue, don't try to change their minds, just walk away, and here's the key part. Never look back. Walking away without a word sends a way more powerful message than anything you could ever say. See, women want to prove they don't need you. Let them. You're not here to convince someone who's already made up their mind that they're better off without a man. When you turn your back and walk away, you're making it clear you don't need to beg for their attention or approval. You're not here to play games or jump through hoops to prove your worth. You're showing strength, self-respect and independence on your terms. The reality is, men need to stop wasting time chasing validation from women who've already decided they don't want it. You walk away, and you keep moving forward. That silence, that's the loudest message you can send. It's not about being rude. It's about valuing yourself enough to not waste your energy on people who don't appreciate it. Women talk about independence. Well, men have their own version of that walking away with dignity, without looking back, and focusing on what actually matters. You're not here to be anyone's backup plan or emotional punching bag. This isn't about bitterness or resentment. It's about understanding that men have a choice, too. You don't need to fight or prove anything to someone who doesn't want you around. Just keep walking. The minute you walk away without saying a thing, you're reclaiming your power. And believe me, that speaks volumes.
Say to all the fine men that I see out in public, sir, if I look at you more than once, if I double back, I give you that real I'm bougie bad bitch kind of look back, I'm just looking around for my friend kind of look, that means I want you to approach me. That means I'm 30 seconds away from walking up to you. I do not want you to get in your car, turn up your music and zoom off and try to be cool. No, I want you to eat my coochie from the back, okay? Okay, now come talk to me, please and thank you. I'm opening the front door. Well, don't you understand? I don't know why men don't understand this. Always men that you don't want to talk to you that are always...
Men today don't approach women because it's just not worth the risk anymore. It's not because we're intimidated or afraid, like women love to believe. No, it's about self-preservation. We don't want to be labelled as creepy, end up as a joke in some group chat for months, or deal with the sting of rejection that could mess with our peace of mind. And frankly, we're tired of the nonsense that comes with it. What's wild to me is how women can't even try to understand things from a modern guy's perspective. We're giving them exactly what they asked for, but somehow they still don't get it. The truth is, men are fully aware of the game now. We've seen the reality of how things play out, and it's simply not worth the risk anymore. False allegations? They're everywhere, and no man is going to risk losing his peace, his freedom, or his finances over a woman. The system's stacked against us. Women file for divorce at an alarmingly higher rate than men, and let's be real. They're often monkey branching during the relationship, lining up their next guy before they're even done with the first. It's not about love or connection anymore, it's a cold business deal. And we're the ones paying the price. Men are smarter now. We're not walking into these traps where we end up losing everything, our money, our peace of mind and our dignity just to satisfy some outdated social expectation. You want to be strong and independent? Fine, we're stepping back. You wanted men to stop approaching? Done. The modern dating scene has become a battlefield, and the casualties are always men, so we're choosing not to engage. So remember this, ladies. You're getting exactly what you wanted. Men aren't coming after you, not because we're afraid or weak, but because we've finally realised it's not worth it. You can keep claiming victory, but understand that the game has changed. We've wised up, and we're opting out. The risk doesn't justify the reward anymore.
Okay, I just saw this really cute guy at the gym, and we made a few eye contacts, right? But he was definitely the more shy and timid type. So I knew there was no way he would come up to me first. And because mama didn't raise no bitch, I came up to him. I walked up to him and introduced myself. I was like, hi. Of course, I asked him if he has a girlfriend, and he said no. And after about a 3-minute small talk, I said, okay, I gotta go. I'll see you around. Bye. Then I just left. And boy, he ran. He literally ran up to me and asked, sorry, could I maybe get your Instagram? Of course I played it cool. I was like, lol, yeah, I guess, sure. Bro had no idea how weak I was at my fucking knees.
Here's the thing with modern women. They've turned gyms and public spaces into places where men don't even feel safe to approach anymore. And now she's out here calling men shy for not coming up to her. Why would any man in his right mind approach knowing there's a high chance of being called creepy or ending up as some viral joke on social media? It's insane, but I'll give her credit for taking the lead because women today are clearly scared, and it goes way deeper than people realise. You know what they can't handle? Rejection. That's what this is really about. Women can't stand being rejected, and evolution has wired them to hate it. When they're turned down, it stings like nothing else. On the flip side, men are terrified of women making a scene if they even dare approach. So, what do? They avoid it altogether. And honestly, I get it. There are endless videos online of women complaining about how much they hate being approached, or how they think men are beneath them. I'm just trying to wrap my head around why so many women today despise the idea of men making small talk or acting like normal human beings. It's like they've forgotten we're literally designed to interact with one another. Women need to stop overreacting. If a guy glances at you when you walk into a club wearing practically nothing, that's normal. If a guy approaches you in a mall because he thinks you're cute, that's normal. If a man wants your number because he's interested, that's perfectly fine. And let's be real, if a guy's looking at you in the gym, he's probably just waiting for you to stop hogging the machine while you're too busy filming yourself for Instagram. The truth is, most men have already stopped approaching women. And if this keeps up soon, there won't be any guys left who even care to be with women. That's not going to end well for women, believe me. So here's the cold hard truth. Women's ridiculous overreactions have driven men away from approaching them. And if this behaviour doesn't change, they're going to find themselves alone, wondering why there are no men left willing to talk to them.
Can someone tell me why it still hurts even when you're getting back into dating and you feel more mature and you end things with someone after a couple of dates? And I've been on 3 dates recently, 3 dates with 3 different guys, but I've gone on second dates with all of them, second or third dates. And I ended it with one guy, the other guy ended it with me, but I was gonna end it with him anyway, so that was mutual. And this other guy, you just can tell he doesn't feel it. And I thought that because I'm more mature and because it's mutual, or because I'm making the decision, that it would be less hard and I would be less sad because it's early on and stuff. But I think when it's just stacked on top of each other, it adds up. Why am I crying? Does anybody else feel this way? Even just when you feel you're mostly healed and you're going back into dating, why does it still hurt? I hate it out here.
Look, I get it, dating in your late 20s, facing rejection after rejection, despite putting in effort, can be a real blow to your ego. But here's the truth. It's not your maturity that's the problem. It's the decisions you've been making. You can't sit there and act like you're the victim in all this. If your relationships keep failing, maybe it's time to take a hard look at how you're treating the other person. When you make decisions just to avoid your own sadness, but end up making your partner feel like they're walking on eggshells, you're setting yourself up for failure. Men who value themselves, they're not sticking around for that. They're going to walk away because they know they deserve better, genuine respect and mutual understanding, not tiptoeing around someone else's emotional baggage. Here's the thing. If you don't love yourself, no one else will. It's as simple as that. Self-love and confidence are non-negotiable, and if you don't have those, it shows in every relationship you get into. You want respect? You want real connections? Then start by respecting yourself first. What you're describing sounds like a classic case of low self-esteem and insecurity. Instead of blaming everything else, focus on learning to love yourself and trust your instincts. That's the key to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. You need someone who values you for who you are. But that starts with you valuing yourself. Until you get that right, you're going to keep repeating the same mistakes, wondering why things never work out. Stop looking outward for validation and start fixing the internal mess.
So your girl just got stood up by her Hinge date. It's currently 7:20 right now. Our reservation was for 6:30 and he never showed. So I travelled 40 minutes to come to this date. We'd booked the restaurant, like we'd agreed on the restaurant, we agreed on the time, we agreed where we were meeting. There's a little bench out front of the restaurant that we were going to meet at. The restaurant was about 40 minutes away from me. I'm fine with that because I don't mind traveling. I've never had a problem with traveling to go on a date with a guy in the past, so I don't mind doing it, right? So I come here, I'm really early. I'm like, it's like 6 o'clock-ish. And I'm like, I'm just gonna like sit on the beach because the beach is right there. Like we're on the beachfront, it's so pretty. Sit on the beach. It's like reservation for 6:30, so it's like 6:20. And I've already told him that I'm like here. He's told me like, cool, no problem. Like I'll head on my way when I'll head on my way now. So it's like 6:20-ish, 6:20, 6:25-ish. And I sent a message like, hey, like, are you nearly there? Like, are you parking? Just letting you know that I'm here, blah, 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 blah. And I don't get a response. So I'm like, okay, cool, he must be driving, no problem. He'll get here when he gets here. Wait about another 20 minutes. It's 6:40. We're past our reservation time now at this point. I don't know what to do. I'm waiting on a bench. Like, what's going on? I'm a little bit confused. Message him again, like, hey, you coming? Like, no problem. Like, is everything okay? Like, because in my head, I'm like, oh, maybe something's happened. Maybe he's run into a bit of traffic. Maybe he's really running late. I don't know. Maybe something's happened, right? Get to 6:57-ish, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think he's coming. So I was waiting on that bench for about an hour, waiting for him. I go to message him because we're nearly 7-ish now, and I can't find him. I can't find him on Hinge at all. Like, he's like, obviously we've just recently been talking, so I should be able to find him. I cannot find him. He's obviously unmatched me, and I am now sitting in my car at 7:20, and I don't know what to do.
Let me tell you, this scenario you've described is all too common, and it's pathetic. Picture this. A man and a woman make plans for a date, reservations set at a nice restaurant. She shows up on time, looking her best, excited for the night. And what happens? She's left there, sitting alone, while the clock ticks away. The guy doesn't show up. This isn't just disrespectful. It's downright weak. What kind of man makes plans, then doesn't have the decency to follow through, leaving the woman disappointed and disrespected? It's a textbook example of one-sided effort, where she's putting in all the energy, and he can't even be bothered to reciprocate. This guy's behaviour, it screams selfishness. Maybe he found something better to do at the last minute, or maybe he just didn't care enough to even send a message. Either way, it shows a complete lack of integrity and consideration. Meanwhile, the woman, despite the disrespect, honours the reservation and shows up. That shows her character. She respected the commitment, showed up with class, and kept her head high even though he disrespected her time. This whole situation highlights the difference between someone who values respect and someone who's just wasting everyone's time. The guy is a coward, plain and simple. If you can't even have the decency to follow through on a date, what does that say about you? Women like this deserve better, but too many guys are out here playing games, showing zero respect for anyone but themselves. It's no wonder so many women are frustrated with the modern dating scene, because guys like this are just wasting their time.